Alright guys, what we have here, it's box 4, and it's just a little bit of vintage Superman stuff in this part 2 of this. And this is by far not all my Superman stuff. I have tons, and really surprised me how much I have. This is probably about half the box, and we're going to go pretty quick because, make sure I get all this in for you guys that are hanging in there with me. First two things in this box, some Adventure Comics. Battle between Superman and Superboy. And on the back, it's in a little bit rough shape, but we have Adventure Comics featuring Superboy and Legion of Superheroes, The Mutiny of Legionnaires. Got this reprinted somewhere. Start off with one of my favorite Superman stories, and I just don't know why. It's Invasion of the Super Ants. Action Comics 296. Basically, as you can see, there are giant ants out there. Superman conveniently flies into a cloud of red kryptonite dust, which conveniently turns him into part ant so he could communicate with them. As a kid, this blew me away. This comic here, I want to talk about this for just a minute here. This is Action Comics 309, and I really would encourage you to do a bit of research here in case I have my facts wrong. I think I'm 95% remembering this. But basically what they did is, they had a show called This Is Your Life. And apparently they do Supermans, and he has to meet Clark Kent. So all these heroes come in, all his friends, as you can see, they're all lined up there. Everybody from Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Perry White, all the way back there to Lori Lamar, and Legion of Superheroes and Lois. And how is Superman going to meet Clark Kent on live TV? He has to trust someone with his identity, and it turns out being John F. Kennedy. Between the time they wrote the story and made the story and were waiting to ship it out, Kennedy was assassinated. So when this came out, they pulled the comic, ripped him up, shredded him up because they were scared to death of disrespecting Kennedy. It was the early 60s there, so that's understandable. But the urban legend goes, they were afraid that people would think Kennedy was shot because he knew Superman's secret identity. Sounds silly, but I've heard that for years and actually read it in a few places on the internet. You can, believe the internet. It all fits. It's around the same time. Action Comics 314. Day Superman became the Flash. Always bothered me how they would race around the world and have these, big charity races, and they've done it over and over, but Superman always kept his cape on. That creates drag. That just always bothered me. Maybe that's why the Flash won. Action Comics 440. Early 70s. Great cover. Action Comics 412. Turns out there's a whole civilization underneath Metropolis. I apologize for squinting. Alright, this one right here, Action Comics 421 against Captain Strong. That is Popeye, folks. You're not supposed to realize that. And again, let me tell you, this is not all my vintage Superman stuff. This is just what's in this box. I'm sitting here thinking of other issues to tell you about to go along with some of these. 100-page giant 437. A lot of good stuff in there. You can see the heroes popping out. Adam Strange, Dollman, Green Lantern, Flash, Green Arrow, bunch of reprints. And something I didn't even realize I had. Apparently I bought it, put it up, haven't read it. I'm not going to comment on it. But it's distributed by Whitman, and it's Action Comics, and that's a Neil Adams cover of Superman breaking the chains. It's an iconic look, but this is not the first time that Neil Adams has drawn a cover, or maybe it was, I don't know, but he did a couple covers where Superman's always busting chains. Okay, 454, we have an Adam story in there, and we have Superman with a super appetite. He tells him just keep the burgers coming. 491, Hawkman, Brainiac, nothing really to say there. 447, this man needs to invent someone to save him as he's falling off the raft at the same time Superman is disappearing. Action Comics 434, Superman gets a super toothache. What will he ever do? Okay, moving up here into the 80s here, I absolutely loved this little story that Marv Wolfman and Gil Kane did. The Forgotten Heroes. Animal Man, Kate Carson, Rip Hunter, Dolphin, Congorillo, I want to say it's a Black Hawk. I think it's Rick Flag, to tell you the truth. It should be Rick Flag. Anyway, got a couple copies of this because I read them to death when I was a kid. I kind of always had a thing for the B characters because you can actually do stuff with them. Both parts of those. And Action Comics 544. Now, this is revolutionary. This is where Lex Luthor got his battle armor and Brainiac became a robot. I do not know why this just did not take off. It's an anniversary issue, of course. 45 years of Action Comics or Superman, I don't remember which one. But I just never understood why this is not, considered a significant issue. This is my opinion. Of course, we got 545, story continues, Gil Kane. We see how Brainiac, doesn't even have a touch of humanity left. Okay. 546 led to a great big huge story starring the Justice League and the Teen Titans and Superman. This is all pre-Crisis. To me, that's a big deal. Gil Kane art, great stuff. Now we go back to the 70s here. Superman Family, 164. Okay, great stuff. Always really enjoyed that picture of Lois Lane. Little leggy there. They had the Supergirl, in my opinion. And, Jimmy Olsen's, sport coat, green pants. So moving on here, 165. Same pictures of Lois Lane. There's, okay. The new Made of Steel, Supergirl getting smacked around. Okay. 166, we got a Topps Turbo Bizarro issue in there, as you can see. Little Super Baby, right there. 167, Jimmy Olsen's story, Mr. Action. A few reprints in there, Super Baby. Okay. Jimmy Olsen as a Nazi. Moving on there. 168, Brainiac story, Supergirl. Candor story, cannot go wrong with those. Lois Lane is the Insect Queen. I have an old Superboy here all ripped up that I've had since I was a kid, where we have Lana Lane as the Insect Queen. But they go to Candor, we have a Flamebird Nightwing story. Cannot go wrong with those. Moving on here. Giant Size Superman 167. More Superman Family 176. These got worse as they went along. It's kind of like they put everything they could into them. This was bizarre. Yeah, this was a bizarre story. Bride of the Stars with Supergirl. Superman Family. It says it's a giant 177. And I'll tell you what, you can tell when they went downhill because Lois Lane got a jacket. Not sexy as she was. What can you do? 179. Okay. And this was one of the first Superman comics I can remember reading as a kid. This really went to $1. And in the back of it, it's number... Okay, hold on. Superman Family 182. I read this when I was probably 4 years old, if I would imagine. And it had a story of Super Baby capturing a four-armed gorilla-looking alien that he wanted to keep as a pet. And he built this little pit and made it nice glass walls and metal bars and went around the world feeding him stuff, and could never figure out what issue it was because nobody really remembers Superman babies. So when I found it at HeroCon a couple years ago for $1, I cheered out loud. Yeah, moving on. Superman Family for $1 now. The book just really went downhill. Golden Age Superman story reprinted. Alright, now we go to the most offensive book, I think, if I was a girl reading these growing up. Lois Lane. And this is a really great issue, number 59. Lois Lane time travels, goes back to Krypton, ends up dating Jor-El and gets smacked around by, Superman's mom for being a hussy. Cracks me up. The things they had Supergirl, had Lois Lane doing back then. She was like she had no life if it wasn't for, wanting to be with Superman. Reprints a lot of stuff. Lois Lane marries the devil. Okay. And there's the original issue. This is number 103. Okay. What I like about it is we have the cloven foot on the devil, the devil's bride. Funny stuff. All right. Superman 167. He's in a birdcage. As Brainiac and Lex Luthor have their way with him. I always like that cover. And just some nasty little stuff here. Jumping up, Superman 277. I have a feeling when I get all my Superman in order, Action Comics, DC Comics Presents, everything, it's probably going to take 2 boxes. So that is Terror Man for you guys that don't know. Okay. Superman 280. Carried these around since I was a kid. Turned into a diamond. And I do not remember the name of the movie. It's skipping me since I'm live on YouTube right now, but that is based on Sean Connery. He had a movie come out. It was actually on Fox Movie Channel or something the other night. But it's based on Sean Connery, Bartox. He ended up having a big relationship with Lana Lang, and I think he just popped up in Power Girl. Superman 292. Why goes over live why Lex Luthor hates Superman. For you guys that don't know, Lex Luthor was actually a hero on another planet, and it blew up, and that's the armor that he wore that I showed you a little while ago from the superpowers there was from that planet. He invented and stuff, but there was a whole planet where he had a family, he had kids, and he was that world's hero, while over here he hated Superman, he was a villain. A lot of people haven't really touched on that. They just want to make him president. 306, this is the first time Bizarro used his freeze vision in super heat breath. Yeah, just some generic Superman stuff. Wouldn't you know it? We'll get that in a minute. Alright, going on here. Another Bizarro, 333. Let's go through here. Nothing really. Make a few Candor stories. Bartox is back. That's Superman 374. 380, time travel story where he meets Superman and Superboy. They meet, they switch places. Another part of it, I think it was a 3-parter. Superman doing nuclear war, and a year later they hit him again. It was the 80s. Great anniversary issue of Superman, issue 400. Some of the talent on there. And get the glare off. Brian Boland, Terry Austin, John Byrne, Chaikin, Ditko, Steve Rude, Al Williamson, Bernie Wrightson, Frank Miller. Great stuff. Read this when I was in the hospital getting my appendix took out when I was 13. Apparently the first Superman was originally a wrestler, and for a day he gets superpowers while Superman loses his, or Kryptonian Superman, and he gets to take out the fact that his career is washed up because Superman came out and everybody laughed at him. I mean, it's quirky and funny. Great. Some Superman Annual, number 9. This has a story that Kurt Swan helped write or wrote called I Flew with Superman. It's a classic. You can find it online somewhere if you don't want to try to track this down. He pretty much wakes up in the metropolis of Superman, knows exactly Superman's address, knows where he works and everything because he's wrote the book. Drew the book for I think over 20 years at this time. And convinces Superman he's from Earth Prime and has to get back. And we got a few specials by Kurt Swan. Not Kurt Swan, by Gil Kane, if you into Gil Kane. This one was kind of bland. And another one, a big Amazo story. This stuff was really good, 1985. Alright, that's just a little bit of my Superman stuff. Hope you enjoyed, and probably see you in a little bit. I have some Kirby New God stuff. I might get on here tonight. If not, I'll get them on here soon. Enjoy.